carried, intoxicated. I said, what kind of fun is this? I must be boring. I'll never be cool enough. If this is the kind of fun that people are having. I saw young girls, some guys, but I think the girls behaved
a little bit too much. A little bit.
It was a mess. It was a mess. It was a mess. Those were the side shows taken away from the good work and the celebration that was the Safari Rally. Reviews, highlights, what stood out for you?
Wow. Thank you again for welcoming me to your show as well. It's an honor and pleasure.
Always.
Yes, last weekend was fantastic. I had a chance to film the Safari Rally in action, and the atmosphere for me stood out the most. I have never seen a sea of people. Literally, people came from everywhere to just come and witness. And I was surprised. I never thought that event would reach a magnitude, but arguably it's the biggest event. And we had a good time filming. Toyota won the rally and a lot of press around it. But the biggest news came when the president announced that's going to be another 5-year extension. So it means more rally to plan for next year. So I'm sure we're going to have double the capacity and triple. It was really a good event.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people that I hadn't seen in a long time, and a lot of people taking pride in the fact that this is not just a car sporting event. It's bigger than that. It's part of the culture. Don't forget to get on the hashtag #CarCultureKE. He knows everything about cars. Please don't ask me, but yeah, you can put me in that handle. Follow TraySticksF1 at Monique Angeline, hashtag Spice Drive and Spice FMKE. Shout out to Bernard. Okay, yes, we're celebrating Missy's birthday. We've got that song called Sunny, It's Not Sunny. Trev, how can you tell it's going to rain?
Back in the day, they used to look at the birds. Apart from checking the clouds and see if there's cloud cover, they'd check the birds and animal behavior. So birds would move in a certain direction. If they're moving away into a direction, then it's going to rain. So it's sort of like a mystical sort of thing, but people are in tune. So sometimes you'd find someone say, "Ini joy mvua." So today, woke up, blue skies, sunny day, first day of the month, and then in the afternoon at 1, clouds started forming and now it's raining.
So you knew it was going to be joy mvua?
Yes, joy mvua.
You looked at it, you were like, this is it.
Yeah, it's random event, can't happen like that, no way. And it's not December. When December gets really hot and it's blue skies swimming through, but it's been cloudy. So that occasion, I knew you need joy mvua.
So you have to drive the right car, especially when things are unpredictable. Today we're talking about an interesting type of ride. Tell us about today's rides.
So today we are just taking a look at the best soft roader to buy. So it's between the Mazda CX5, the Subaru Forester, and the Honda CRV. And for just to break it down very easily for everyone, what is a soft roader? It's basically a passenger vehicle that has increased ride height and more practicality than your standard passenger vehicle. So for example, the Toyota Corolla, which is the standard vehicle that everybody knows. They decided to get into the soft roader business because the world was moving towards that. So people want that high stance because of practicality and everything. And they wanted space. So they built the RAV4. It's based on the Corolla. And the RAV4 has an interesting acronym. It means Recreational Active Vehicle with 4-wheel drive. Okay, and that was back in 94. So they could claim they are the first soft roaders back in the day. And now, I think they are 7th iteration, I think. Then there's CRV, compact recreational vehicle based on the Honda Civic and Accord, the same platform, similar thing. So it was a trend that people wanted something bigger than a standard saloon, boxy sort of vehicle, but now wanted space for the kids, space to carry stuff, and of course the practicality that comes with it. So that was the meaning of that.
Nice.
So today we're comparing these 3 cars, very popular with Kenyans. And if you're driving on the road and probably you're thinking, I'm looking at upgrading my next vehicle, which one is best? So I'm going to give you a lowdown on what to look out for, and I'll summarize in a very short way which one is best based on the assumption that you're looking for value for money.
So we're talking about the Subaru Forester, the Honda CRV, and the Mazda CX5.
Yes.
Which one would you pick for me?
Honestly, without any bias, this is just from my exposure. The Honda CRV ticks all the boxes for me. And the reason is Honda is a Japanese brand. They are known to make bulletproof engines. When I say bulletproof, it means reliable to a fault. They do not break down. Like literally in the States, there's something called the JDM survey. It's a consumer survey that looks at how reliable a vehicle is. And Honda topped Toyota for so many years. And simply because this car just went on and on and on and on. Not taking away the fact that Toyota is fantastic as well, but on that segment, the CRV is big leader, big leader. So the reason why I take the CRV, it's a bulletproof engine, so it doesn't break down. It's very fuel efficient. Okay, it's a 2.4 liter. You might find some with a 2 liter and some with even 1.5 turbo, the new ones. But it has something special called the VTEC, iVTEC. iVTEC is a technology, basically, it's called variable valve timing. So it retards the valves. So at lower speed, it doesn't consume fuel. But when you want to push and get that power out, it opens up faster so that the air can get into the engine and you have more power. So maybe when you're accelerating, Kinungi or something, you get that massive power output. So the balance, it's like a switch. So during low speed, it will consume less fuel. When you want more power, then you get that power that you need. So again, iVTEC engine, fantastic, very reliable to a fault. Parts are readily available. And they last longer as compared to what you probably get in a Toyota or in a Subaru.
Right.
Second thing, I think I love the way it's built. It's very European, so it's quiet inside. A lot of sound deadening material on the firewall where it's the engine and the passenger. So you don't feel everything that is happening in the engine and the rattles and everything. It feels very good. It's comfortable. It's spacious. It sits 5 people. Okay, and it's got tons of technology. Probably some of the best things that you probably have seen. You have iStop. You have quite a number of variable. Probably you get dual airbags, the standard vehicle stability control, which was the word I was looking for. Sunroof, proper sound system. It feels good and drives very, very well.
You've talked about the design, the features, and how fancy they are. Fancy fits.
Yes.
You want that. And you mentioned you don't hear your car.
Yes.
You want silence. You want that tranquil. What about why the Subaru Forester compared to the Mazda CX5 is more desired by people who have families? I'm trying to figure out of the three.
Okay, the Subaru Forester is an interesting vehicle because a lot of its urge to buy it came from back in the 90s when rally was big. So the Subaru's halo product at that time was the Impreza. Okay, now the Forester is based on the Impreza. So basically, the Impreza was a saloon car or a hatchback, but now people wanted practicality, space, tall, So the Forester was built on that platform. So literally, Subaru used that winning philosophy of the Impreza to the Forester. That's why many people love it, and people love that. There's one called the XT Turbo, which is very powerful.
Right.
It's actually one of the most powerful soft-roaders right now in the market. It drives extremely well. Symmetrical all-wheel drive. That is something a Subaru philosophy. So basically, you can't get stuck when you go to Shago or where you need traction. So the symmetrical all-wheel drive, changes traction, how your tires grip the road. So it's very, very sure-footed, both on tarmac and both on off-road. Okay, it's hardy. Subarus are built to last, especially the older generation. So, for example, there's a first generation called the SF5 and the SG5. Very reliable, suspension is really tough, can take a beating, literally. I have seen people, even there's a club, some group of guys who've driven from Nairobi to Cape Town with that SF5 turbo, all the way to Cape Town. No fault. The only thing they did was to change a tire because it was a flat.
Right.
But very reliable through and through. Okay. The downside of a Forester is, one, some parts are slightly expensive to buy, especially the high maintenance parts. Okay, so you might find maybe a drive shaft, or if you've messed up your engine, because there's a tendency of blowing up the turbocharged engine, so replacing the engine is a bit costly, or even the turbo, if you have a leak, replacing it is a bit expensive. Number 2, in terms of practicality, it's the least practical of the 3. It has smaller space at the back. So you can carry 5 people, but the people at the back will struggle a bit. But the new one, the current generation of the Forester, is quite spacious. It's now up to par with the CRVs and the rest. So downside, just the packaging of it, but as far as the vehicle is concerned, fantastic vehicle. I love it's called the Subaru Bubble. That sound, I love it. It's very manly and people love it. So people who are graduating from Impreza will probably find their way on the Forester. So it's a fantastic vehicle.
So we want to see your favorite because Trev here is talking about all these three: the Subaru Forester versus the Mazda CX5 and the Honda CRV. If you've got your young family, I see a lot of people that are transitioning from being bachelors, starting off with this one as well. Someone here was mentioning how fuel efficient they are. So we're going to be tackling all these as you let us know which one is your favorite.
Not surprised at all. The ones who know, they know what they're getting themselves into. Hondas are pretty reliable. Fantastic car. Like if you're looking for something that will last you for long,
right?
Honda CRV is the best bet right now.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Get following Trace Sticks F1. We've got sugar, spice, and everything nice. We're getting you home by 7. Big boy Trev is here. And every single Thursday. So don't ask your mech everything. You can ask Trev. You know how you have to double check what the mech told you, and you feel like I need to have a second opinion on things. This is why we have this show. So make sure you follow Car Culture KE. That's the hashtag, and Spice Drive, Spice FM KE on every single platform. Trev, it's official. This is everybody's favorite car. Shout out to Earl Gibb. He's on our timeline saying CRV Honda, best soft roader ever.
Yes, I can tell you.
Clearly.
Everybody loves the CRV. But here's the thing. It gives you that flexibility. It's efficient. It's powerful enough. Then it's quiet. It's well built. It doesn't feel like you're driving an older generation vehicle. It feels very, very put together. And that's the whole point. And then you can carry your family. And then plus in these difficult times, it's a car when you buy, you can plan your life for the next 6-7 years. You can easily have the car that won't give you any issues and will last you long.
Nice.
You know,
I've seen a tweet here from Jake Kipp. He says, I've got the GT, but I'd pick the CRV for a more efficient engine.
Yes. I've seen the tweet, and I think that Subaru Exige, it's a station wagon, 7-seater, but it's spacious enough, but doesn't have that ground clearance that you probably find with the CRV. So again, there's a reason for that. It's more fuel efficient. It's so thirsty, and people like that, especially Kenyans being budget conscious. That's the thing. One thing I forgot to say: price. The price of the current 2014 CRV right now, it's about 2.4 to 2.5 million. Unfortunately, 1 year ago they were cheaper. They were between 2 million and 2.3, but obviously the tax man decided to add more tax, so it's slightly up, and it's because of the demand. All right. The Forester as well, it was going for roughly about 1.7 to 2 million. Now we're heading towards the 2.5 million mark. So they're becoming pretty expensive.
Yeah.
So either you decide to buy a vehicle that has been used locally for some time, you probably get it for 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, or if you're looking for first owner, you're looking for that budget.
That's the money you need to have in your pocket.
Correct.
We've talked about the other two, but we haven't touched on the Mazda CX5.
Kwanzaa, that one has a story.
What's the story?
As you go back to Naivasha story,
we're going to hear about the rally trip.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm telling you.
What's the story with the Mazda?
So the Mazda CX5 is loved by ladies, and there's a reason for that. It's a design language. Mazda have employed a new design language called Kodo. It's fluidity in motion. So it's very easy on the eye. The lines, it looks very sleek. Even if you look at it from the first glance, people fall in love. And then the use of colors. They've got an interesting red. It's called shimmering red. Very nice. It's called shimmering soul red. So that color just attracts all the women to it. So right now there's a saying that Squeezy, forget about Subaru boys. Squeezy ni wa mama na Mazda CX5.
What?
Yes, and it's been noted in Vasha.
It's been noted.
Yes, that this or mama were carrying Ben 10s on the side, so you know.
What are you saying? So that's the...
Yes, that's the vibe. That's the vibe there.
So the Subaru boys have their brand.
Yes.
The ladies are now associated.
Now Mama CX5. Now Auntie Waharia. You remember the Auntie Waharia? Now it's Mama CX5.
You just profiled people there.
Let me
quickly.
tell you. And but then there's a reason why people love the CX5. It looks fantastic. Drives extremely well. Inside, plenty of creature comfort. It looks very modern. You know, if you're not stuck up with the likes of the Honda CRV, which look just standard, it's not nothing overly done. then the CX5 makes sense because it's got good leather seats, it's got a sunroof. If you get the higher spec version, even in heated seats, at the back you can have fully flat folded seats. Again, a good sound system. I think it's courtesy of Bose. So sound, if you're listening to Spice FM right now on the CX5, let us know how you feel about the sound of our car. Engines, very good. There's a petrol and diesel. So there's a 2.2 diesel and there's a 2-liter petrol and a 2.5 in some markets. Now the diesel, people love it because it's got more power, but it's got issues with the catalytic converter and the DPF. These are filters to reduce emissions. So what happens, because our fuel is not the best, it will clog up really fast, and people need to either delete the DPF or have it manually cleaned. It's called regeneration. Okay, so for some would say, my CX5 has issues, but again, it's choosing the right one. But in my view, the 2.5 version, petrol, the best. You have an option of front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, depending on which category you pick. And the price is roughly about 2 million to 2.5, depending where you search and where you look.
I'm loving all the tags on the timeline, and it's pretty clear which car wins. You've mentioned the cost of each, but what about the resale value of each?
Now, that's a big question, because a lot of these software buyers will always look at resale value as a pointer when they're buying. Okay. Now, the Honda CRV looks like it holds its own. Okay, it will hold its value for a long time. A lot of people who've bought the second and third generation, they're called the RD4 and RD5. Right now, if you bought the car, say 6 years ago, at 1.5 million, you'll probably sell it right now at 1.2 or 1.3, depending on how well you've maintained it. So keeps value extremely well. Subarus, on the Foresters, the depreciation is high, obviously because of how people misuse the cars right now. So you find a Forester that has been misused, the value goes down, and then there are plenty. It's also a case of demand and supply.
Right.
So the more cars are in the market, the prices go down as age goes. For the CX5, so far it's holding its value. It's expensive, but we hate to see people reselling them at the moment because it's pretty much a 3-4 year old car that's been in the market. But again, the prices, 1 year ago it was the most affordable at the moment. It was going for 1.8 to 2 million, but now because of the tax money, it's slightly higher. But people love it because of that. It's actually more affordable, so you get more car for your money. So it's just living it. So my top pick: Honda CRV, Subaru Forester, then the CX5.